Let's get it. Yes, yes. Welcome everyone. Can you hear me, Tori?
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Welcome everyone to the show today. Very excited to have this guest. But before I introduce her, want to say, it's a Sanders Says podcast hosted by me, Larry Sanders. We are celebrating National Women's History Month this month. So, big up to all the women in history who've made a difference, which is a long list. It'll take you all month to read it. And then, shout out to all the mothers that birthed all the humans on Earth. So, you got a special thank you right there. And we want to give a special shout out to our sponsors. We are powered by Czar Wellness. And we recently did a collab on these pre-rolls right here, which are amazing. THCA, which is top shelf flower, and it's legal in every state, which is the good thing. So even if your state it's illegal to have, THC, you can have THCA. So go to czarwellness.com now. Go get your flower. Check that out. Also, got a book I just dropped, a children's book on anti-bullying called Footsteps in the Dark, where it highlights disability. So this on Amazon, so check that out as well. Giving back to the kids, and all proceeds are going to my foundation, which is Sanders House Foundation. So yeah, let's dive in. We got Torrei Hart, our special guest on the show today. Give it up. I'm so excited because this is an amazing woman and someone who is going to be a pivotal person in Black history and women's history. So excited to have her on this show today. You already are without even knowing, for real. So excited to have you. You just had a birthday. So happy birthday to you. Yes.
Thank you. You was there.
Yeah.
We was turned up.
You already know. I see it. You was having a great time. And
Yeah.
I was happy to see you enjoying yourself. So that's amazing. Before we dive into all the amazing things that you've done and things that you have going on, I want to take a step back. I like to go and dive into, who my guests are and the upbringing. So, we could take us back a little bit to, Philly. You're born in Philly and raised in New Jersey, right? Okay, cool. So, just take me back to those days, young Torrei, things you were interested in, and a little bit about your upbringing, if you could share with us.
Yeah. So I was born in Philadelphia. Moved to Jersey. My parents moved me and my sister to Jersey when I was 10. So I got, city and suburb, and then moved back to Philly when I was 18, and then ended up, after that, went to the Army, which a lot of people don't know. I was in the Army. So went to the Army, and then after that, I moved out to LA. But growing up back east, for whatever reason, I was a fighter. And I know why. And it's funny because you have that book about bullying. And, it jogged my memory thinking about some things. Growing up, I fought probably like about 15 people. I was always fighting. I wasn't a bully. I would be getting bullied. So I always was having to defend myself. I don't know why people thought it was sweet, but only lost 2 fights my entire life. And that was to the same person, Nikki Birch. I could not beat Nikki Birch.
You got her name tatted in your brain.
Listen, man, because I was little. I'm 5'2", but I was real tiny, growing up. But I had a lot of heart. I was a tomboy, so I was always with the guys, BMX bikes, skateboarding. That was my life growing up. I was a tomboy. So I don't know if girls were just mad because I hung out with the guys, and I was also, guys would always hit on me too or whatever. Right. So just thinking about that and thinking of growing up, it always jogs my memory that Torrei, you was a fighter, you had to fight. So I think that goes back into who I am today too, because I get a lot of rejection in the industry. You're gonna get a lot of rejection in the industry. But I look at it like, okay, it's a no, but you got to keep fighting until you get that one major yes. It's just going to change everything for the better. Or, small wins and victories along the way. Like, last night I booked a TV role. It's a recurring role for a TV show. So, but I've been told no so many times in the industry, when you get those little small wins, especially as an actress, producer, it's exciting when you get the small wins. So yeah,
Yeah, sure.
I'm like a fighter and a rebel. I
Yeah, they don't know you got an
nickname is Rebel
85%.
T.
They don't know you got an 85% win rate over there.
Right, right.
Nah, I understand that though. Growing up and having to, put your hands up all the time. I was the same. I had to deal with the same issues because, for whatever reason, being the biggest kid when you're younger, everybody
Hmm.
gonna think, they're gonna think it's sweet. Everybody want to
Oh,
tackle the
right.
biggest mountain first. The bullies always coming after me first, and I always had to be the bully stopper. So, now I understand that for sure. Which was cool because you led the charge, and I understood that. Okay, I can set stage, I can set stage and there ain't gonna be no bullying and we gonna help those that are less fortunate. And I was real close to everyone that was, the disabled kids, because
Hmm.
it's so much commonality and so much we can gain from each other, if we look at just put aside our differences. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's huge. So big ups to that. Big ups to you for learning that lesson and actually applying that to your position now in life because that's
Hmm.
true. Being a black woman, being a pretty attractive black woman, you got to fight so many different areas to try to establish yourself and have respect. So, kudos to that, and salute to your struggles for sure.
Thank you. Thank
You
you.
know, yeah. And taking it back a little bit, how if you want to touch on a little bit, um, was comedy always there? Like when you were younger, when you were a kid before you went to the army, what did you have aspirations or what was your vision for your life?
So since I was 6, I told my parents that I was going to be in Hollywood and I was going to be a
Okay,
star, right?
okay,
And my dad worked for the post office, my mom worked for the telephone company. So they was like, yeah, okay, Tori, whatever. They didn't know how to put me in show business or around show business. But I always did the church plays. So I always made sure I was a part of the church plays and did stuff with church. And then I also in high school was part of the drama club. And I got class clown in high school. So I always like was making people
hmm
laugh, always being silly, always doing that.
hmm
And then fast forward to meeting my ex-husband, we just clicked, and I think that that had something to do with why we clicked because, me getting class clown, me always cracking jokes. I
hmm
passed. One of my teachers passed me because I wasn't great academically. Like I was smart, but school to me was a waste of time. So
yeah,
I would do little things, crack jokes with my teachers and stuff for them to make me pass. And I never forget Mr. Smith, he said I was so funny and he loved my personality that he was like, Tori, I'm going to put you through so you get out of high school.
yeah,
So he just pushed me through out of high school just based off of me making him laugh. So I would say,
yeah,
yeah, it was definitely always in me for
yeah.
sure.
No, that's awesome. We share that same thing because if I ain't entertained my teachers, I don't know where I would have been because I
Right.
was for real coming in late. You know what I'm saying? Luckily, it's funny being a class clown because at first you rub them the wrong way, and
Right.
then the right teachers, they pass the vibe check, and
Right. Yeah.
it's a good time. So yeah, that's dope. It actually inspires me to teach. I want to teach one day,
Hmm.
and be that teacher. So that's pretty cool. Um,
I mean, well, you
so
already a doctor, so
yeah, I gotta be. You're right. You're right. You're right. But I gotta get that teacher. I ain't cut
right.
nobody. I ain't cut nobody open yet either. So I'm looking forward
Okay.
to that. No, but yeah. So you know, you you're a kid. You said your mom and dad they worked. One was the post office and one was uh
The
what,
telephone company. Hmm.
telephone company. How was your relationship with them growing up?
Oh, I was terrible. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. My parents are dope. They still married 53 years, so I have a great foundation.
Yeah.
But I was a troubled teen. You know what I
hmm
mean? And like I
hmm
said, I think it went back to me always getting into fights. I got kicked out of high school. I got reinstated though because it was a bully messing with me, and I ended up, slicing her face,
mm,
but it was because she was just so big and always picking on me. And I just was
right.
fed up one time. So I had to, fight to get back into school for that. Then I was on probation for something else, but it was always because somebody did something to me first. So
right,
my parents, they was like, I moved you out of Philly to Jersey to get a better life. But in the school that I went to in Jersey, like it was always something going on. It was
right,
just always something. So my parents, they knew I was a good person and had a good heart and a good, kid. But I just had to, get out of my own way, I guess, with certain things and figure out what was happening and why people was just making me the target.
right, right. And you got teenagers now, right?
I have a 18-year-old and a 16-year-old.
So how has that been? Your upbringing, your relationship with your parents. How has that translated into you as a parent?
Well, my daughter she graduated salutatorian.
Okay.
So yeah, I was on the crazy thing is I was, on them about education. Meanwhile, I barely made it, barely graduated.
It's like
But
that. It's like that.
yeah. So they're in private school. I'm like, y'all, your life has been set up for you to win. You have to win. I'm not playing that. And
Right.
the good thing is my daughter's salutatorian. She's off at school right now. She's off in LMU. She's in her second semester. She's doing great. She's a straight A student. And then my son, he's a track star, running. He's dope, and
Mhm.
he's A and B. So I definitely feel like I put more pressure on them, but a fun pressure. Like I'm not that parent. Like if you fail, I'm putting you on punishment or whatever like that. Because I know, just because academically you didn't, do so well, you still can make it in life.
Right.
So I just, I'm just the mom. They say I'm the cool mom. My kids still want to hang out with me. My daughter's having a birthday this weekend, and she's about to be 19, and she's like, "Mom, you have to chaperone." I'm like, "Girl, you grown. I don't have to chaperone." She's like, "I just want you there. You need to be there, okay? You need
Right.
to be
Right.
there." So,
Right. That's
so
awesome.
I think
Yeah.
that speaks volumes of, how I raised them and our connection. Because when
Right.
I was her age, I was trying to get away from my parents. I was like, I have
Yeah.
freedom, you know?
For real. For real.
Yeah.
I understand that. I understand that. So wow. So with with them getting older, you see you and your ex-husband are in
Hmm.
the industry. You're in the industry. You're you know, people see the glitz, right? They see the glamour. They see all the good things that come from that as far as your children. But tell
Right.
us, I mean, I guess convey some of the challenges, some of the things some of the obstacles that you had to kind of get through in order to, you know, have your daughter be salutatory and then get to these stepping stones with your children.
Well, I would say for me, I sacrificed like 7 years of my career pretty much and just focused on them
Yeah.
because their father was out of town so much. And it
Hmm.
was just like, you can't have both parents out of town like that,
Hmm.
because who's going to raise them? Well, they'll be, doing well, but we're going to miss out on a lot. So I just felt like one of us had to be there. So I sacrificed, to be there. And I would still take my classes and still
Hmm.
be taking courses. And, if it was local things, local gigs that I could do, I would do it. But for the most part, I definitely was like, you know what, I have to sacrifice for my kids because I wanted
Yeah.
to be at soccer. My daughter was a soccer player. My son was also a soccer player and
Yeah.
played different sports. And theater major. So I had to go to the plays. I had to be there for school events. I was
Yeah.
one of those moms that was there volunteering in the chuck wagon every Monday, serving the kids, getting to know who
Right.
the kids are, that their friends are,
Right.
making my presence known up there. So I
Right.
definitely feel like I did have to sacrifice,
Yeah.
part of my career, the early part, which is fine
Yeah.
because, now, right now, is later is greater. It's okay.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it because it
Yeah.
shows with my children. It shows in their friend
Right.
groups and who
Right.
they hang out with, and their friends are all my successful. I call them my nieces and nephews. One of my nieces she just got a scholarship to Louisville. She's playing basketball. My other niece got a scholarship to Pittsburgh. She's volleyball. She's got all kinds of endorsements and commercials and stuff going on.
Hmm.
Um, my son's friends, they're all good kids. They're not like kids running around here doing drugs or anything. So I feel like what I sacrificed was worth it.
Yeah. No, for sure. No, shout out to all the moms out there that do that. I mean, that's such a I guess, unspoken gem. So many moms give up their dreams, their goals for their children,
Mm-hmm.
and but you see the reward, right? You see the
Right.
reward. You have this best friend forever that is actually, that's accomplishing things that's successful, and you play a huge part in that. So yeah, shout out to all the moms that are showing up to the soccer games, and doing the things they need to do for their kids. I think that's huge. I'm not
And
always.
the dads too,
No,
because
it's
there's
not.
a
Yeah,
lot of,
yeah,
yeah, there's a lot of dads that I have to say shout out to the moms. I love the moms, but for the dads that can still work and then show up for their children, that's a bonus too,
yeah,
because
yeah,
I know how it is to be the sole provider, where you got to be on the road. And shout out to Kev, because he also, he's the, was the sole provider, and he would still, every chance he would make it to games and
yeah,
show up to school events. So yeah,
yeah,
it really does take a village, for
yeah.
sure.
Yeah, no, I admire your story and your relationship, because I've seen things in the media, and people try to turn people against, they always try to create a
Right.
negative, this narrative. But I've always heard you say great things about your relationship with him. You said great, after the divorce, and how it transitioned, and I think that speaks volumes. It does, and I think that should be normalized more than anything. I feel the same way
Hmm.
about my ex-wife. And there's people that we said I love you to so many times, and laid down with, and had so many different experiences with, um, and to you know make that experience off of one negative, disagreement,
Right.
or however. And it's such a shame. So normalizing this, and I think it shows a great example for our kids too, that they can transition, and have relationships that are healthy, um, with their with their child's parent, which is something I didn't see. It wasn't normal in my community, it wasn't normal in my
Right.
life. So to be able to create it is, it's an amazing thing. It's freeing, it's freeing. So
Hmm.
um, you know, I'm happy you have that relationship with him. It's always exciting to see that, you guys speak about each other so well. Now,
Yeah, and let me not make it seem like it was easy, because it was not easy. That's the thing.
right, right.
There was moments where I wanted to, go ham on his ass.
Hey,
you
I
know,
know,
and,
I
and,
know,
and he
I know.
probably felt the same way. But
Right,
at the end of the day, we had a common goal, and that was to make sure we had two healthy, loving, kids that were
right.
great, people, and that's it. It was all about
Yeah,
them, and
right.
making sure they were productive citizens, making sure they
Mhm.
were showered with love. And anytime we would go through anything, we would bring it back to, like, okay, this is what we agreed on. We said we was always going to keep the kids first, no matter what our
Yeah,
feelings are. And
right,
that's the
right.
one thing that we had in common with each other. And when we
Yeah,
remembered that, it was all love.
yeah. That's it right there. That is
Yeah.
it. That's very simple. People can. It's not easy now. It's
No.
very simple, but it's not easy,
Right.
because the emotions flare. There are emotional blind sides. People, there's resentment. There's a lot, on in a personal journey that you have to get over in order to come together in that space with someone. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to you for going through your personal journey first, and coming to that space with yourself, and
Thank
him
you.
too,
Thank you.
because it's tough. It's tough. Divorce,
Yeah.
kids, they're my kids, they're your kids, they're my, what I mean? You
Right.
go through all that,
Yeah.
man. You want to live over here, they might want to live over there.
Right.
Um, so much in the mix, man. That but when you put the kids first and you actually consider what they really need, um, it does get a lot easier, for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so we talked about, them a little bit, your challenges growing up, but um, and then how it kind of coexists in your life right now. If you can take me back, what are some of your, I guess, some of your best childhood memories?
Wow. Best childhood memories. So I lost my grandmother when I was only 6 years old, and that was
Mm.
like my best friend. So I got hit by a car when I was 6. Well, hit by a
Wow,
van, actually. I shouldn't be alive, by the grace of God, I'm alive. You know,
wow,
um, I was in the hospital for 4 months. It was really bad, reconstructive surgery. I had a broken femur bone. I was in a body cast for a couple of months.
When you were 6 years
Um,
old?
I was
What?
6. I was chasing. So I
This
have an
is
older.
traumatizing.
But it made me. I think another thing. It made me who I am because I swear, you know, I feel like I passed and then came back at a
Mm,
very young age, and so the
hmm.
way I look at life is different than the normal person. I feel like,
Yeah,
um, and you know, I just don't take anything for granted, and I just always push forward no matter what. I don't know. I just have that. I can't explain it, and I've always knew that I was going to be great and have big things in life and just live a different type of lifestyle than
yeah,
what was around me.
right.
Um, but my grandmother, she is the person who took care of me when I was recovering, and so
Mm,
we bonded tremendously. And during that time, I would watch the movie Annie, which is when I first started saying I'm going to be in show business. It was my favorite movie, Annie, and I just would watch that movie every day. I would make my grandmother put it on every day. And so one day she's like, "We're not watching Annie today." And
right,
I'm
right.
like,
That's how.
"No, we gotta watch
Right,
Annie," because
right,
I would
right.
act it out and do all
Hmm,
the kids moves and stuff like that.
hmm.
And of course, I did get hit by a car, but I got to spend so much time with my grandmother and just
Yeah,
bond. And
right.
I think that's what made me, realize like, yeah, I want to be in show business. So
Yeah.
that was a,
Wow.
childhood.
Yeah.
Also just going on our vacations to Florida.
Hmm.
My grandmother was a minister.
Yeah.
Um, I have aunts that are ministers, uncles that are ministers. I come from the church. So my grandmother
Yeah.
started a church. So I was in church every week. So I remember always being in church, and, we got the choir as my cousins,
Hmm, hmm.
tambourine, and,
Right.
we always was cracking jokes. Like my family, I know this is where I get it from too. Cause my family, if you don't know how to John, then
Hmm.
forget about it. They gonna
Yeah.
get you.
Oh
They
yeah.
gonna eat you
Oh
up.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
they
For
gonna eat
sure.
you up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
between that, church, family, we're all about family. I would say I was definitely raised off of love and not survival.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, that's amazing. Yeah, I had a similar shout out to Granny. Shout out to Granny. Shout out to Granny.
Yeah, I miss
Shout
her
out to
so
Granny.
much. Like I can still
Man, me too.
smell her. She used to
Yeah.
chew juicy fruit all the time, and I just, every time I, smell juicy fruit, the gum, it
Hmm,
triggers
hmm.
me, and I can't wait to meet her again. Well, I can, but when I meet
Yeah.
her again, I'm gonna be just so excited, like, cause I still feel her presence. Like I feel her
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's
Yeah.
amazing. I feel the same way. I had a very close relationship with my grandmother as well. She passed at a young age, so
Hmm.
yeah. Spending so much time with her. She was deep into the church as well. I have two uncles that are pastors,
Hmm.
um, who have their
Oh
own churches.
wow.
So yeah, just raised around the
Right.
church, and it's nothing like having Granny, man. We had so many functions when my grandmother was alive, right, and so many get-togethers. A lot of things kind of fell off, so that new Granny got to come up, and or the grandfather. That's my.
Right.
I feel like that's my role now in life is to be what my grandmother was eventually, to my family, which is
Right.
a huge role. So, shout out to Granny, man. That's dope.
Yeah.
Um, so now that's a great memory. So we talked about some of the challenges, your memories. What do all of this, which I have this question, but now I feel like I have my own answer. But what's your relationship with adversity? Would you say?
Adversity.
Yeah,
I think it's a part of life.
yeah,
It's like you have to go through adversity to reach certain levels,
right,
because if
right,
you don't have those challenges, then what is it for?
right.
You
And you
have
and you met adversity at such a young age.
right.
At such a
Yeah.
young age, at 6, to develop a mindset such a young age, is such a crucial time. You could have went,
Right.
your mind could have went anywhere. You could have went in a very low state. Um, wow, that's pretty pivotal, right there. Um,
I would
and
slide. I like so I would be still hanging out with my friends because I was in a body cast for a long time. The doctor said I wasn't even going to be able to walk again. Like that's how crazy it was, right? And I
wow,
would be sliding around like this. How determined I was. I'd be on my you know, arms crawling, body cash just going, because sometimes that they wouldn't have the wheelchair right there to push me or whatever. But I was always determined. So I think, yeah, that's why I said I definitely know that has something to do with how I think and how I process life and go
Right.
after what I want.
Right. That's dope. And have you started to put this all into like a book? Have you told this story, or are you planning on telling the story, or is it?
I need to. I wrote a book before after my divorce, and I
Uh-huh.
wrote it for therapy. I don't want to release it because I was in a bad place.
Yeah.
But speaking to you, actually, it's like you're bringing up so much stuff, and it's like making me realize, yeah, I need to talk about this. My life, sometimes we forget and we don't realize that things are interesting because it's just our life.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely
It
need
is.
to talk about this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, it'd be dope. It'd be a cool story to tell. I mean, I would love to
Mhm.
see a little TV show because I have kids. I can imagine if one of my kids at the age of 6, I have a 6-year-old boy now, got hit
Oh,
by a car. My
right.
oldest is 13. Oldest is 13. I
Okay.
have a 10-year-old girl, 6-year-old boy, and a 3-year-old. But I can
Mm-hmm.
imagine any one of them, is devastating even
Yeah.
as a parent to have to deal with that. And then the doctor tell you that that your child can't walk anymore, or wow,
Yeah. My
you
mom,
know,
so, and I wasn't with my mom when it happened. She said she felt it though. I was at my cousin's house and I was
wow.
chasing after the big kids. And what happened, they were running, and then, I darted out and van came right there. So, I promise you, I don't know how I'm alive. I mean, I know God, but I should not be here at all.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy. That's a crazy story. You definitely need to put it in a book, a comic
Hmm.
series, or something, a little cartoon, something would be dope.
Yeah.
For kids. I think it's a great story and it's based on a true story, which is amazing.
Hmm.
Um, even if I told a story like that and made it up, people wouldn't believe it. So the fact that it's true is
Right. Yeah. Let
it's
me
pretty
tell you what
dope.
I used to do for
Right.
sympathy. This is so. So the pictures, because my mom had to take pictures and stuff, for the courts, because of course we sued.
Mhm.
And I don't even know how that, because I'm the one who darted out, but whatever. And
Right.
so the pictures I would take to show and tell for sympathy from the kids. And my
Like this
mom
used to
would be
be
like,
me.
pictures of me all mangled up, like just looking crazy. And my mom would be like, "Tori, you taking those pictures to show and tell again?" And I'm like, "Yes, yes, it works. Okay."
It works. Right, you
I'm
gotta
getting
get these
all the
people.
sympathy from the
You gotta get
teachers.
right, but it's better to get them off your back because like you said, with the bullying at a young age, and
Right.
kids are mean. Kids are mean
Yeah.
sometimes, man. It's like, come on, y'all, get it together.
Right.
Um, yeah, so that's really dope. So are these are little lighthearted questions. These are a little more
Okay.
on the fun side. We dug in a little
Okay.
bit. These are on the fun side. Okay, if you could be any animal, what animal would Torrei Hart be?
Wow. Domesticated or wild?
That's up to you. That's all your preference. See, that tells a lot about your personality right there on what what type of animal you choose to be. You want to be taken care of, or you be out
Right.
there getting hunted and hunting. So what do you want to
You,
do?
I would want to be domesticated. I feel like,
Okay.
yeah, I would want
Okay.
somebody to be.
Okay.
So I have a cat and I have a dog. You probably hear my dog barking. I had to put him up because he's barking right now. He hear my voice, so he's trying to get out.
Okay.
Um, but I have my cat. I watch my cat and how she moves and how she tames the dog. And so, she runs the house. He
Mhm.
thinks he does, but she runs the house. Um, so I would say cat. I like cats. Cats are cool.
Okay.
I learned
Okay.
a lot from my cat.
Yeah. Cats scare
Yeah.
me. Cats scare me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, cats are so dope. Cats are loyal.
Yeah.
Cats, you don't really, like my cat, I just have to feed her and give her some water. And then when she wants something, she lets me know, but she shows so much love and
Mhm.
affection. She moves a certain type of way. She'll let me know, oh, I don't mess with that person too much. Or, like
Yeah.
if I have an event at the house or something, I can tell when she messed with people. And,
Yeah.
they say cats are also guardians.
Yeah.
So
No, cats love me.
yeah, cats are
Cats love
dope.
me. They love me. They love me.
Right.
But it was so when I was younger, I had an allergy to cats.
Okay.
and that kind of kept me away. And then as I got older, I always had dogs. I never had cats, but every time I'm around a cat, it's very attractive to me, but it scares
Yeah.
me because I know how powerful they are. It's almost like a respect thing. I respect cats at a high level. I mean,
Right.
a cat can challenge a lion. Like a house cat is a different type of animal. They don't know this is different from a lion, it's different from a
Mm-hmm.
tiger. The eyes are different, the reflexes are different. The cats only share eyes with the snake. A snake is the only other animal to have the same type of eyes as a cat.
Oh,
You know
okay. You
that?
teaching me
And
something. I didn't know that.
and a cat and a snake is slower than the snake. I mean, a snake is slower than a cat. Cat is actually
Okay.
faster than a snake. So you got something that's faster than a snake. It's a powerful creature. A cat is a very powerful creature.
And
So not just
get this,
underestimate it.
Larry. There was a snake because I live in the mountains, right?
Hmm.
How come my cat killed a snake? So a
Yeah,
snake got into the house. Don't know how, because usually I don't have issues with snakes. I see coyotes a lot, but never snakes. But a snake got into the house, and I come downstairs. I see my cat wiggling and playing with it, and I'm like, oh my god, it's a snake! It's a snake! My cat is just mangling it, and I was like, oh my, okay, thank God I got this cat in the house
yeah,
because
yeah.
she's taking care of that. I ain't got no mice, I ain't got no rodents, no nothing. So that's
Right.
another benefit of having a cat,
Yeah,
especially
yeah,
living in the wild because I live in the canyon. So, I come across a lot of wild animals, but they very rarely come to my house.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. All right. Well, you're gonna be a cat. That's what you're gonna be. A
I would
house
be a
cat.
cat.
A house cat.
A house cat that's allowed to
in,
go
in Beverly
outside.
Hills. In Beverly Hills somewhere. So yeah, okay. Um, Another one. This was more kind of up your alley, I guess. So you're on an island, um, there forever. You got four different types of movies. Well, you got a TV show, one TV
Hmm.
show to watch forever, a comedy, a drama, and a horror.
Okay.
One horror film, one comedy, one drama, and one TV show
Oh,
forever.
wow. That's a great question. One comedy forever. Damn, I have so many comedies that I love.
Yeah.
Um,
Which one can you spin back and not get tired of? It's probably a couple of them.
that's what I'm saying. It's so many comedies that I just love. I mean, there's Harlem Nights. There's
Yeah.
most Eddie Murphy movies. He's like my favorite comedic actor.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
um, I would have to say, growing up as a kid, I watched Harlem Nights a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Harlem
Harlem
Nights.
Nights.
New Jack City. I would have to have New Jack City. That's not a comedy, but that's the other movie. I played
That's your
Keisha.
drama.
Yeah, drama. I played Keisha in the play New Jack City that was touring the
Okay.
country. That's how I manifested that role. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like I just used to think I was Keisha growing up. I don't
Yeah.
know. I had to be walking around rockabye, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so New Jack City, um, horror, Silence of the Lambs. It's not a
Oh
horror,
yeah.
but it
I
kind
like
of
that.
but it's
Hmm.
a movie there. I loved Jodie Foster's acting in it, and of course
Right.
Anthony Hopkins. Like
Right.
they did so well in that film. Like so,
Yeah.
and I would always quote, it puts the lotion in the basket. So that's
Oh yeah.
like
Right. Right.
that's like a memory for
Yeah.
me
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's scary, but it also could be real. So I like
Yeah.
scary movies that are like damn that could really happen. So it really scares me. Like oh, I'm watching this in the dark.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. 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 Right.
So I would say
Okay.
those three, and you said one more, right?
Oh yeah. I said a TV show,
Oh, a TV show.
but I want to replace that one with a romance.
With a romantic comedy.
No, with a romance, just a love film.
Oh, a love film. Um, I mean, I guess we have to go with Love Jones.
Oh, Love Jones. Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's the
classic.
first thing that came off the top of my head.
Yeah, Love Jones is a classic.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's a great one. Okay, last play. I guess fun question. If you could create a law, any law, what would it be?
Create a law. Um, so I hate racism. I
Mm-hmm.
despise it. It like it gets under my skin so bad because, for one, what our ancestors went through, and for two, people can't help how they're born, what they're born into.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, they got hate crime laws, but people are still racist.
Mm-hmm.
They hide it. So I would have to say any law that's against racism that we could create. I think that would change the world and make the world like turn into more of a loving place. Because I think a lot of the division comes
Mm-hmm.
from being racist against people. Or look at they're judging blacks. They feel like all blacks are thugs or criminals or
Mm-hmm.
can't be smart because the color of our skin. So I feel like if there was some type of law against being racist against other nationalities, that it would
Mm-hmm.
shift the paradigm of the world and we would start to move in a loving space for sure.
Yeah. No, I heard a great one in that realm. It said that if you had a prejudice or racism or any kind of discretion against someone, you had to sit with that culture for X amount of months,
Mm-hmm.
and experience, because I think, excuse me, and I like that law a lot because I feel like experience is the best teacher,
Right.
above punishment. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
times people are ignorant. They're in this fear. They're afraid of what they don't know. They act
Yep.
out. They
Right.
act out. It's a defense mechanism. But with understanding, it can go a long way. And I think that not too many laws are based around experience and understanding. It's all
Right.
punishment based. But we've even learned from raising children that doesn't always work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, maybe when they're young, but once they're old enough to comprehend, you start to use your words, right? And we start to teach lessons, um, and instill, and not just direct with punishment. Because if you can't understand, don't touch the stove because it's hot because you don't know English yet. I gotta pop your hand or
Right. Right.
redirect you from the stove. But um, using our words matter. So I don't think we get to do that enough in our culture. But I think that's something that definitely should be worked on in our households at least.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was definitely a punishment based raised kid, and I
Okay.
think that's just they did what they knew,
Yeah. Learned
go,
behavior.
yeah, go get the switch,
Mm-hmm.
so now I get to use my words a little more, and it goes a lot longer with my kids, so um that's
That's
huge.
great.
That's a big lesson.
Well,
Yeah,
that,
that's a
that
big
shows
lesson.
you respect your kids too, and you have to respect. Like I learned so much from my children. My children are incredible, and I'm not just saying that because they're mine, but they like I would watch how they, when my son and my daughter, when they would have differences, I
Hmm.
would watch how they would work it out. Like my son
Right.
is so emotionally intelligent, and
Mm.
like he would say stuff like, "I don't like how you're making me feel. That doesn't feel good to my spirit." And I'm
Right.
looking at him like it's so simple, but a lot of grown-ups just don't know how to say that. And,
Right.
instead, but I'm like, he gets it at this young age to say something like that.
Right.
So it's like you say, yeah, but I gave him that freedom too, to where, I
Hmm.
respected what he had to say. I wasn't like how I grew up, my parents were children are supposed to be seen, not heard. And
Right.
meanwhile, I like no, I'm a speak. My parents
Right.
they heard my mouth nonstop. So even though they tried
Yeah.
to preach that, it was like,
Yeah.
nah, you're gonna hear me.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
yeah, I think definitely children should, be able to express how they feel for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. For sure. For sure. You you know, we do a lot for our kids in all of this, and I think sounds like you're at the point in your life where you're starting to transition back into Torrei Hart and your career
Mhm.
and what you want to do, and kicking them kids out the house. They need to get on, get a job, do worry about themselves, which is good. You
Right.
did your job, and now you get to move on, which is exciting. I think I'm super excited about everything that you're about to do and bring to us, on this side of the TV. So it's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope for you. And I remember a couple years ago, you were talking about your self help. I mean, your self care journey.
Hmm.
And I think you did a recipe book, right?
Yeah, skinny bitch keto.
Yeah, Skinny Bitch Keto. So,
And that's during
which
the
is dope.
pandemic. Listen, I was
Yeah,
going hard because I refuse. Listen, I got to get back on that because I
yeah,
refused to get fat during the pandemic.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
I was just cooking and all these
Mhm,
recipes, and I used to cook for my kids like 3 meals a day. So I enjoyed it, right?
mhm.
And so during the pandemic, I was like, okay, guys, we cannot get fat. I can't just sit around drinking all day because that's the
Right.
first thing during pandemic. That was what everybody was doing. We gotta have a shot challenge. We gotta drink and
It
da da
was
da da
sad.
da. So
Yeah,
so
scared.
right,
Yeah.
and then I was like, but I just don't want to, sit around just eating bad, getting fat. And so I started
Mhm.
cooking keto friendly meals.
Right.
And that was probably, I was in like the best shape of my life, I would say.
Mhm,
And
mhm,
so I
mhm.
created that recipe book, and that was to help people get through that time. I was doing online cooking courses, and that was a fun time. I
Yeah.
actually, if I don't have the time now because I was sitting in the house all day with nothing else to do but cook.
Right. Right.
So it'll probably be hard for me to, relive that magic again. But yeah, that was a dope time for sure.
It was. It was. It was dope to see. It was dope to
Hmm.
see because I was also, making sure I was on my heavy on my CMOS,
Right,
um, running every day, trying to control what I can control. I think that was huge for me in the moment because everything just felt out of control. Like
right.
everything felt like it was up in the air. My kids were in a different state. It was a
Oh,
lot.
wow.
Yeah, stuff like that, being able to
Hmm.
travel, family. My ex was pregnant,
Okay.
so it was a lot. So, um, just being able to control what you can control in
Hmm.
those times it was huge for me.
Right.
And my focus. No, so that's dope. And how's it now? So you said you kind of fell off a little bit with the keto stuff, but
I
it's
have.
yeah.
I have. I
Well,
try. It's I'll admit I've been like living life and just not
right.
thinking because like I told you I was I wake up like a soldier every morning. I was in the military. My dad, and I get this from my dad. My dad was in the army, and
Mhm,
so I chose to do the army.
mhm,
Um, and so I'm always thinking like a general. I'm always thinking, like how I can conquer something and strategic, you know?
mhm,
So my body was that too. I was always working out and, never missing a workout, was always that person that was about the gym and fitness and stuff. So, recently I was just like, I never just had a chance to just wild out and just eat whatever and do like, and I was like, I just want to do that. And
right,
so
right.
I've probably been doing it a little too long, but I'm a
We'll get back on the
I'm
we'll
gonna
get
bring
back on
it
the
back.
train. Get
I
back on the
worked
train.
out yesterday, and
Okay.
so yeah, so I'm starting to bring it back. And then I had got an injury too, which stopped me. I used to run the hills every day, but I got an injury which stopped that. So that kind of slowed me down. But
Mhm.
I'm bringing it back. I told Jerry, Jerry. I told you, I said, Jerry, I gotta get back on my workout grind because I'm not liking my body. I'm very like vain when it comes to my body, and so I'm like, I gotta get it back.
No, it's good. It's okay. You still got it. You still got it. You ain't
Yeah.
fell too far off the horse. You still got it for sure. And
Thank you.
and you did it once, you could do it again. I
Right,
believe in you
right.
for sure. I'm on this journey too right now, getting myself back in shape in basketball already, and feeling hungry again, just ready to play basketball,
Hmm.
just having fun doing it. Um,
Oh,
so
here's
it's
a
good.
fun fact too, Larry. I played basketball. I was point guard.
You was a PG?
I was a PG.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Okay, for sure. When did you play? At what age?
I started in the 8th grade, and then I played all
Okay.
throughout high school.
Okay, 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 for
Hmm.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started. I think I officially started playing basketball when I was in I say 10th, yeah, 10th grade.
Oh
10th grade was my
wow.
first year.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to be an oceanographer for a long time when I was a kid. I don't
Hmm.
know why. I just wanted to dive in there and figure out what was going on. And um, I was going to all these camps. My first love was art. I wanted to be an artist. Then I
Yeah.
got into oceanography. and then transitioned back to architecture. And then
Mm-hmm.
before you know it, I was 6'8", blocking shots in the
Right.
NBA. It happened quick.
Wow.
It happened quick. But you
So
know,
dope.
I've always wanted to do more though. You know, I've always kind of wanted to be all these other things and explore all these other things. So I'm excited. You know, I'm at this point in life where, you know, I've done some stuff with music. I've written some things. Have my book. Have my strand out now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Interviewing Torrei Hart. You know, which is amazing. You know, on National, you know, Women's Month. So, you know, I'm just excited. You know, I'm excited to see everything you got going on in this transition in life for you. Which is dope. Stepping back out into the scene, you know, getting back to the things you want to do, which is huge. I think it's inspiring for, you know, women out there all over the world, right? Because you're the light at the end of the tunnel. You know, for
Mm-hmm.
a lot of women, you know, some women are, you know, they're getting, they just got a test today that said that they're pregnant. You know, that
Right.
it just dropped
Yeah.
on them, you know, just now as we just had this conversation, you know, and they thinking that everything is shattered and how could they ever accomplish their dreams and is there light
Right.
at the end of the tunnel and how do they do this? So that's inspiring, you know, that you've done it where you are. You know, I think you should tell this story more, you know, find a way to, you know, and you know, get this story out to people all over the world, not just women, because it's inspiring. It's inspiring, and I'm happy that you came on the show today and shared it with me a little bit. I'm really grateful for that.
You know me,
And thankful.
I'm glad I was able to. You're a great interviewer, by the way.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and I appreciate that you've done your research. I appreciate that, you know, you actually like women, because I can tell a lot of men that do not like women or don't see the value, and I can tell that that's not you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could just tell. I feel it, and you keep doing this, because you're a great interviewer.
No, thank you.
Like,
No,
yeah,
thank
you're
you.
really,
No,
really good. And your questions, and you're smart and charismatic. I think, yeah, you have something special here.
oh no, thank you. Thank you. It's definitely a passion of mine. Like I've always
Hmm.
enjoyed great interviewers and you know, not the, and I was talking to someone about this because they asked me like, what kind of podcast do you have? It's like I don't, you know, if you want to talk about the bubble gum and the, you know, and the junk food, I call it junk food media. There's
Right.
enough of that out there. You know, I don't, you know, I want perspectives, I want insight, you know, journeys and things that can inspire. So you did all of that today and you helped me fulfill my mission a little bit more. So thank you for being on
Hmm.
my show. I want you to talk a little bit about just what's, you know, what's to come, you know, what do we have to look forward to?
Okay. Well, right now I'm still on tour. You know, I'm doing dates with Cat Williams. I have my own tour also, the No Hard Feelings tour. And
Yeah.
so I have a dates coming up with that in Columbia, South Carolina, March 22nd to the 23rd, and then Philadelphia, March 28th at the Philadelphia City Winery.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
And then Baton Rouge, I'm at the Silly Rabbit, uh, May 29th and 30th. So
Okay.
that's what's coming up for that. And then I'll resume. Oh, and then I'm at the Barclay Center. How dope is that? I'm playing at the
Oh,
Barclay
sweet.
Center
Oh, you're in New York.
April
Okay,
5th.
in Brooklyn. April
Yeah.
5th in Brooklyn. Okay, that's the, we about to, hey, April 5th in Brooklyn. I'm about to put that on the date, put that on the calendar
Yeah.
because,
Oh,
yeah.
it's gonna be so. It's so many heavy hitters. It's me, Bruce, D.L.
Oh,
Hughley,
sweet.
Tracy Morgan,
Sweet.
Shantae Wayans, Rip Michaels,
Yeah.
Lonnie Love, Coco Brown. I mean, just like
Wow.
so many. I'm just, you know, I'm blessed and honored to be a part of this show, because you know the host Rip, he's like, Tori, you're so funny. People just need to see more of you. So
Right.
you know, when I
Right.
have people that's behind me and really wanting to see me win, that's a blessing. So
Yeah. Now
yeah,
that's dope. That's all the comedians I grew up on. That's
yeah.
super sweet right there. What's the that's like that makes me think of like comedy. So what's the chance of them doing a comedy? What was it? What was the late night BET show? Was it comedy? It
Oh,
wasn't Comedy
it's coming
Central.
back. It's Comic View.
What?
Yeah,
Comic View is coming back?
I think it starts today. Comic View is
What?
back. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's crazy. Now I got something to
Yep.
watch. That's wild. That's wild. That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Now that's sweet. So we're gonna try to catch you on tour for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Looking for that next keto book that's gonna drop. that you.
Oh, and I drop a song tomorrow too. I almost forgot.
You drop a song?
Well, I do music too. So,
Okay.
yeah, and I actually just was in the studio with Sugar Free. I don't know if
Hmm.
you know who Sugar Free is, but he's
Yeah,
like,
of course.
okay, yeah. So
Of
me and
course,
Sugar
yeah.
Free have a song that we're dropping next month.
Hmm.
Forgot about
Hmm.
that. I be forgetting because
Wow.
I just work.
Doing
I just
too.
love
Yeah,
anything
me
that I
too.
love. I just do.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I don't look at it like work. It's just I do it.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so look out for that. Look out for "Girl You Knew." That is the song dropping tomorrow, and then the song with Sugar Free. It's me, Sugar Free, Eben Lurks, and White Dog. That's dropping next month. So also check out my music. Look out for that. I'm super
How long you
excited
been?
about my musical projects.
How long you been into the music?
Since I was young, I've
Yeah, since a kid.
yeah, since I was young, I've always
Hmm.
admired rappers, hip hop, always been into the culture. And then this is another thing, I would be in and out of the studio. And then during the
Hmm.
pandemic, I sat down with Rockstar. I don't know if you know who Rockstar is, but
Hmm.
he's a producer. He produced Chris Brown, Mariah Carey, French Montana, Moneybag Yo,
Hmm.
you name it, he has platinum plaques. And I sat down with him during the pandemic and we wrote out a whole EP. So that's another person that was just
That's
like,
dope.
Tori, you're dope. You need to like
Yeah.
really take it serious. So he
Yeah.
kept pushing me and pushing me. And I was like, all right, I'm coming. And I went in the studio, we cut 5 songs, got it done, and then boom, that's that. And then from there, I ended up in a rap group, ABO.
Hmm.
So we got songs coming out. It's me and 3 other
That's
guys.
dope. Hmm.
Yeah. And now I'm about to, record with a Colombian artist on Sunday. She's big in
Okay.
Colombia and she wants me to come over there and perform with her. So it's
That's
yeah, I
that's
know. Everything
crazy.
is
You
just
taking
kind of
off.
is happening.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's 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 amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now we look forward to all of this. It's gonna be sweet. So is it dropping on all platforms, like Apple Music
Mhm.
and everything? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, sweet. All right, so look forward to that. And what's the name of the song again?
So it's called, I'm sorry, my gardeners is out there.
It's all right. We about to we about to wrap up.
So it's called Girl You Knew.
Girl, you knew. Okay.
Girl, You Knew. It's a
Girl, you
wild
knew by
song.
Torrei Hart. Uh
It's a
huh.
wild song. So if you listen to it, but it's a bop. But
It's about.
it's wild though. It's wild.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
touching on subjects that people don't really talk about.
Okay. No, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good. It's about time.
Yeah.
Music need to change. We got to hear something different. I don't care what
Right.
it is. Give me something different.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. Nah, but it's been dope. It's been lovely having you on the show. Again, happy National Women's History Month.
Thank
Um,
you.
happy birthday again. We still turn it up,
I'm
for
still
Tori's birthday.
it's still Pisces season. I got like I think 5 more days.
Yeah, nah, for real, for real. Nah, for sure. So just want to say thank you so much for being on the show today. And giving us some of your time. And just look forward to everything you got going, Tori. And blessings to you. Hopefully we can spin this back again down the line
Yeah.
when you got, further in this journey. So, it's just been a blessing. So thank you.
No, no problem. Thank you. And when you know me, I'm actually working on a podcast.
Where you with?
Have you on because you
Okay.
are so dope. Like I just love your spirit. I love
Okay.
your personality. I love everything that you're doing, and you're just a great human being.
Oh
So
no, thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much. Nah, for sure. Nah, and I'll be honored. I will be honored to be on your show. Just let me know when I'm pulling up
Okay.
in person or the link, whatever.
Okay. Got
Okay,
you.
cool. All right,
Okay.
blessings to you.
All
All right,
right.
talk to you
Blessings
soon.
to you too, Larry.
Okay, peace.
Okay. Bye bye.
Amazing. Amazing. Blessings to Torrei Hart. Thank you so much for being on the show. Blessing our guests today. Thank you for everybody that tuned in. It's been a dope episode of Sanders Says. Again, Amazon.com. Go check out the book, Footsteps in the Dark, Anti-Bullying. Great education for kids. Just give them perspective a little bit on disability and how to see it as a superpower. I love that book. It's a story. It's actually a story I told about kids when they were younger, um, and it developed into more books coming up. So yeah, and then I have my flower right here. These are pre-rolls, 5 packs. Czarwellness.com. Go get them. Tell them great flower. education too. I mean, Czar Wellness, the reason why I partner with them is because they love to educate. You know, they have a consultation process where you come in and, you know, they treat you, they see if you're dealing with anxiety, depression, mood disorder, PTSD, whatever it may be, and they diagnose you. They treat you properly, whether it's topicals, gummies, flour. You know, it's not recreational. It's recreational, but it's not. You know, it's educational, recreational. So, you know, we want people to know what's going on with their bodies, get a good sense and feel of what they're going through, how they can be treated, and then get the right products for them, and you know, spend their money the right way, and not just you know, over medicate themselves or, you know, spend their dollars searching and finding. Cause I know how it is, you know, trying to find some good smoke or trying to find something that relieves some of your anxiety and you're searching around. Sometimes things are making it worse, right? We don't all probably done, you know, smoke some or, you know, took a gummy or did something to try to treat our anxiety and it made it worse, you know? So, I love Czar Wellness. You know, you guys go to czarwellness.com, check them out, go get a free consultation, see what's going on, and you know, get some flour, man. And we're treating people all over the nation, so you can order this and get a consultation in any state. It doesn't matter if it's legal in your state, you can get this because this is a different component of the flower. It still won't has a psychedelic effect. It still gets you, you know, gets you high, but it's treating for, you know, anxiety, depression, relaxation. Excuse me. So go to czarwellness.com, tap in, go to amazon.com, Footsteps in the Dark, check out the book. And it's been a great episode of Sanders Says. We had an amazing woman today on the show. And talking about just how important it is to you know, be present, but also don't forget your dreams. Don't forget your dreams. Hold on. It's never too late. It's never too late. It's only too late when you say it's too late. All right. So keep working. Obstacles gonna come. Fight through the adversity. You see, when she was 6 years old, she got hit by a car, a van. If I got hit by a van right now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk again. She was 6, you know, and you know, now she's here breaking ground, um, raising, you know, salutatorians, and being a amazing woman. So, you know, shout out to Torrei Hart. Shout out to everybody out there that's working hard, knocking down the obstacles, getting to their goals. Um, you know, appreciate you for being on the show today and checking this out. Sanders Says, man, it's been awesome, man. It's been awesome. Coming back next week with another one. Looking forward to our guests. I ain't gonna tell you. You have to look forward and you have to see it. So check us out, the real underscore Larry Sanders on Instagram for all updates and czarwellness.com to get the product. It's been love. Peace.